Okay. Hello. Get down. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or night or whatever time it is when you're watching this. Today I'm going to do a Q&A video. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, and so I asked y'all on Instagram questions, to ask me questions, updates, and I have a lot of really great questions. So without further ado, get a bevy, get some water, get a little iced honey soy milk latte. Y'all, I got an espresso for Christmas. Which one, please tell me your favorite pods, like Nespresso pods, especially if you make at-home lattes. But I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And then I made honey simple syrup at home, which is literally just diluting honey with hot water. And I love making things easy. You know, it's so fun. Anyways, without further ado, let's start answering some questions. So the first one is, how are you doing? What a great opener. What a great opener. I'm doing really, really, really well. I love my house. I love my job. I love my cat. I'm like obviously dealing with like holiday blues. Christmas is not a great time for me. But I had a fantastic birthday. Thank you all so much for all the birthday wishes, especially on my last video, which was me getting ready for my birthday. So of course, the beginning of January is always rough. It's just a rough mental health time, I think, for everybody. But overall, I'm doing really good. Thank you. This I actually talked about recently. What's one book that you've read that continues to live in your head rent-free? And it is Circe by Madeline Miller. I just talked about that in my reading wrap-up, but that book just like hit. I think it would have been less impactful if I read it in a different time in my life, but with the time that I was going through in my life, me reading that was so impactful, and it does just continue to live in my brain rent-free. Either that or the paranormal gay daddy dom romance that was the cringiest thing I have ever read in my whole life. This one was an important one. How do you get more comfortable with your sexuality? I feel ashamed of how long it takes for me to finish. So they mean like, I think they mean getting more comfortable expressing your sexual needs or just getting more comfortable with how your body works. If you've been on my TikTok, if you've been on my YouTube, you know that especially it being difficult to finish and being distracted and getting frustrated is something that I used to do, like orgasm tips on TikTok. That is something I'm really, really passionate about because it's something I've struggled with. I thought that I was broken for years. Like I just thought that I couldn't come for years. And so I first just want to say that it is so normal. The Libido Fairy is an amazing account, like an incredible account, talking about women's sexual desire and the differences between men's and women's and communication tips to talk to your partner. But I think for me, the biggest thing that has helped, that is actually something that I've been implementing in my life the last 6 months, is decentering the orgasm from the fun sexual time, which is difficult, don't get me wrong. But I think that if we can shift our focus away from the orgasm being the goal and just, you know, the journey being the orgasm, the friends we made along the way being the orgasm, I think that really helps, because sometimes you can have amazing sex, you can have so much fun, and then for whatever reason, it's just really hard to cross that finish line, and then you get frustrated, and then you get all in your head like, oh, well, what if my partner thinks that I'm not sexually attracted to them? Or, you know, you start judging yourself, and it kind of ruins the moment. Like it kind of brings a damper down on the fun sexual time that you're supposed to be having. For me, just not focusing on orgasm being the goal has really helped. This person did say when I DM'd them that they do have good communication with their partner, but that's another huge thing. Being able to bring toys into the equation, communicating exactly what you want, being able to say, hey, don't stop, just do exactly that, or do this, or do that. Communication with your partner. And also I find just sometimes taking a break. You have the great sex, you can't have an orgasm, that's okay. You calm down, you snuggle, and then that's kind of my gauge, is after I snuggle, if I'm good, I'm good. But if there's a little bit of something else, left over, then I will try again. And most of the time, because I've kind of ridden that wave, it's easier to when I go back and approach it. But I just want to say it is so normal, which is frustrating. But please check out the Libido Fairy on Instagram for more tips. Yeah, her account is so helpful and I have learned so much from it. How long did it take to break up with your most recent partner, and how did you know that you wanted to do it? So for us, I knew, I think in the back of my brain, like lizard brain knew for a long time. And in our defense, we did try everything. I kind of tried to break up with him a couple times, and it was, okay, I want to break up. Okay, let's move out of the trailer, because living in the trailer was really hard for us on our mental health. Okay, I want to break up. Okay, let's try this. Let's go to therapy. So we did try multiple things to try to, like, multiple external factors to try to fix our relationship. And then finally, when I brought it up again and I was basically like, I don't think I can do this, then he finally was like, yeah, I don't think so either. So I think in my most recent case, I knew it. It's kind of embarrassing, but I knew it for maybe like a year, maybe 6 months to a year, that I like knew, definitely 6 months, I like knew that it needed to happen. But you know, it's just, we really did care about each other, so we really tried to make it work. But taking all of those steps to try to make it work and then it's still not working really made the decision a lot easier and a lot less heavy. I mean, it was still devastating. But the fact that we had tried everything really made it pretty clear that it needed to happen. Will you give us an apartment tour or cute decorating tips and how to curate a cozy space? Yes, I will film a apartment tour. I just need to grab a friend or somebody to help me, because it's obviously like filming a tour and being able to show you guys everything is really hard to film by myself. Speaking of content I want to film, can we bring off day off vlogs? Yes, I would love to do day off vlogs, especially because I'm reading and crocheting and I love cleaning and I love cooking, and those are some of my favorite videos to watch, like videos where it's just time lapses of people cleaning and chatting with you and like just chill videos like that. I absolutely love. I also think it'd be really fun on day off vlogs to like take you guys around to some of my favorite places in the town that I live in. Yeah, that'd be really fun. So I got a few questions about non-monogamy and polyamory, so I'm just gonna kind of answer a couple of those right quick. The first one is, do you consider yourself solo poly? And yes, I do. Solo polyamorous means that I don't have a primary partner or a nesting partner or an anchor partner. Like, it wasn't me and a partner that then separated out into polyamory. I am just polyamorous. So the way I kind of think about it is, in solo polyamory, like, you are your own primary partner. Like, you are the only thing that you're separating from, if that makes sense. So I am polyamorous. Anybody that I date is polyamorous. Anybody that, you know, I'm talking to knows that I will have more partners other than them. And that has been so healing to have that frame of mind of, I am my own priority. I am my own primary partner. At the end of the day, I come home to myself and the things that I want to do. It's been a really, really nice shift in focus, because I love dating. I love people. I love dating. I love it. Like, it's part of why I'm polyamorous, is I love having a crush. I love going on dates. I love meeting people. I love having people in my life. But being able to have my life, that is my life, that's not shared with anyone, it is my special life, is really lovely. And then I get to branch out from there. Then I got a couple questions asking me how I knew I was polyamorous, or how poly people know that they're poly. And I think it's pretty difficult to know. I mean, some people just do, but it's just like, it's not something that's talked about. Like, the only thing I can equate it to is like being bisexual and coming out later. But being bisexual is obviously something that's a lot more talked about. Hello, editing Katie. I realized I never went into what I meant by this, and what I mean is that when you come out, at least in my experience, as a later bisexual, it's kind of a thing of like,
you're kind of open to the idea. You're like, oh, I'm just an ally. Like, yeah, women are beautiful, blah, blah. And then it kind of changes to, well, yeah, like, maybe I'd go on a date with a girl, to then, kind of going on a date with a person and then really owning it. Like, you kind of just experiment with it until it becomes something that you're like, oh, yes, this is who I am. So that's kind of what I meant with it, like, kind of running the same track as trying polyamory, of you just kind of slowly tiptoe into it until you decide whether it is something that holds true for you or not. Anyways, back to the video.
I don't know. I mean, it was just something that, a partner a couple years ago and I opened up our relationship. It was during COVID and we had talked about it before, and it just started with he saw men and I saw women as a way for us to explore our queer identities, and we weren't poly, we had an open relationship. And then I think just trying that little bit really piqued my interest and really made me go, oh, this is something that is really, really cool. I think I obviously can't speak for other poly people. I personally knew I was poly because, one, I was curious about it, which is, your first inkling. I was curious about it, and then I've always been a lover girl. Like, I remember when I was 17 breaking a guy's heart because I had such a big crush on this other guy, but I still loved the guy that I was with. I still loved him. There was nothing wrong with him, but I found myself attracted to multiple people. And of course you look back on those moments and you're like, that was your non-monogamy kind of creeping in and you just didn't have language for it. So I think looking back on things in a non-monogamous context, things are making a lot more sense. But yeah, for me, it was just, I had an inkling about it. I had a partner who was willing to try it. And then once I did try it, I really, really loved it. Like, really, really loved it. And that was another question I got, is like your biggest self-discovery when doing non-monogamy. And I think the first time I experienced compersion was a game changer, which compersion is a lot of the times said it's like the opposite of jealousy. So it's feeling excited about the other person's excitement. So and you can feel this about more than just polyamorous relationships. Like, if you, like, your friend went on a really, really good date and you're so excited for her, like, that's a feeling of compersion. I remember, my ex would come home and tell me about a really, really great date that he had, and I wanted to hear every detail. I was so excited and I just wanted to know all the information. And then same when I came back from a really good date, we just got to kind of talk about it and be excited together, and it was just so special to be able to have those instances of feeling that romantic rush of like a crush and going on dates, and then coming back to a partner that you already have this history with or that you love, whatever it may be, and reconnect with them. Like, it is so special, and everybody does polyamory a different way. That is the way that I intend to do my polyamory. But yeah, I think just trying it like that just was such a game changer, and that was something that was so surprising because historically I had been a pretty jealous person. So I thought that it would be really, really difficult, but I just found it really exciting. And don't get me wrong, I still get jealous, and it's still difficult. Like, there are so many things in polyamory that I haven't experienced yet that I know is gonna be hard once I get there. I was gonna put on lip gloss because my lips are so fucking crusty. Oh, whatever. You're lip glossed. My lips are so freaking dry. So I got a couple questions about how to feel more confident / how to feel more like yourself again after going through a low period. And obviously, I'm still kind of working through it. Hi, Tuna. Hi, baby. Oh, it's so cute. Say hi. Hi, baby. Oh, hi. I think it is time plus being intentional about trying to feel more confident. Like, of course, when you go through a low period, it's just gonna take time to heal. But I think being intentional about, I want to make myself feel better. I want to feel more like myself. I want to feel better about how I look or what I'm doing, whatever it is. I think you just need to be intentional about it. So for me, if we're talking about like how to feel more like yourself after a breakup, for me, that has been doing the things that make me feel like myself, doing the things that I love to do that make me happy. So for me, that was getting my own space. I have learned that I love living by myself. I love having my own space. I love decorating. I love cleaning and taking care of my space. I love being creative, and I love I literally reorganized my room, like rearranged my room yesterday. Doing things like that makes me really happy. Spending time with friends makes me really happy. Finding cute little coffee shops and sitting and having a coffee make me really happy. Going out thrifting makes me happy. Like, all of these things make me happy, and they're things that I enjoy doing. Playing piano, playing guitar, whatever it is, picking those activities that maybe you let go by the wayside really helps make you feel more like yourself. And when you're happy and feeling more like yourself, the confidence will come with it. Like, confidence is really, to me, a byproduct of putting in the work to feel like yourself. And I've always said this too, the way that you talk about yourself is everything. If we're talking like self-image confidence, stop talking to yourself badly. If you, there's a cow farm, there's gonna find cows outside. If you keep talking shit about yourself, that's what you're gonna believe. There's a cow farm, you're gonna find cows outside. If you're saying bad things about yourself, you're gonna feel bad things about yourself. So that is another like tip that I will scream until the ends of this earth, is just be kind to yourself in your brain. Talk to yourself like you're talking to your inner child. Talk to yourself like you're talking to a best friend. That's the best thing you can do, and it takes time. You just have to be patient. This one was very important. Somebody asked, have you ever had HPV? I recently tested positive, and I know it's common, but I'm still scared. I have not had HPV. However, I did get my first STI this year. And I do have a friend who has HPV, and I don't really know how to broach this topic other than saying that, yeah, it's common. It's normal to get STIs. If you are a sexually active person, it is a normal risk of sexual activity. And so I guess I just kind of wanted to take this time to talk about it a little bit more, normalize it in a little bit more, because like I said, I tested positive for my first STI this year. I have been sexually active for, at this point, close to half my life. And it was my first ever STI, and I had no symptoms. I went to Planned Parenthood just, for just a routine checkup. I had no symptoms, and I had chlamydia, and which was so scary because I had no symptoms. I'm pretty good at keeping an eye on her, and if things are weird, so that was really scary because I had no symptoms. So take this as, a cautionary tale that if you are a sexually active person, to get tested, pretty please. Go into Planned Parenthood and get tested. Go to your doctor's office and get tested, and communicate with your partners and ask about it. Like, ask if you're about to have sex with somebody, or if there's somebody that you want to have sex with, have that conversation. And the best way to do it is to go, hey, I was tested last month. I came back with a full negative panel. When was the last time you were tested? Sexual health is really important to me. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to put that out there for everybody. It's normal, it happens. I was terrified. I was so scared and so thrown off. So, your fear is really valid because it's so stigmatized. It's so not talked about. It's so swept under the rug. But you're right, it is really common. Like I said, my friend has had HPV for years, and she's able to go about a normal life. She has to do a couple extra things to take care of herself. But I think we all have something in our life that we have to take a little bit of extra care with. So just own it, do the research to take care of yourself, find a good doctor that's on your side and does not continue to stigmatize it. I think that's gonna be a really, really big game changer. It's gonna be okay. It's super stigmatized, but it is a normal risk of sexual activity that we all need to accept as sexually active humans. Okay, so my overhead light, one of the bulbs is going out. So if you see slight light variations throughout this video, that's it. That's it. My overhead light is going out. And as y'all know, my ring light finally bit the dust, so we are working with what light we have. Would you ever move back to Canada? Do you miss Canada? And if so, what are the things you miss most? I would love to move to Canada, especially if I could move to Canada in the next 4 years. That would be fucking awesome. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to stay here. It's where all my friends and family are. It's where I grew up. And I do really, really love Washington. One of my favorite things about Canada is it's everything that I love about Washington, but just like bigger, like more mountains. Like it's just so, more mountains, more green. The ocean is beautiful. It is so gorgeous. The shopping sucks in Canada though, and groceries are so expensive. But yeah, I definitely miss Canada. I mostly miss my friends in Canada, obviously. Oh, there we go. It's brighter now. See, this is great lighting. You see what I mean? Ugh. Anyways, I mostly miss my friends in Canada, and I mostly miss like the scenery because it is just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And for those of you wondering, I lived in the lower mainland of BC, so not quite Vancouver, a little bit farther east. What was the first song you heard that turned you into a Swiftie? Now, that turned me into a Swiftie, I think that it is All Too Well, the 10-minute version. All Too Well, as Ali Sheehan calls it. There's a couple songs that even when I hated Taylor Swift, I loved. So like Mean and Everything Has Changed. There's been a couple songs that like I've always loved, but that turned me into a Swiftie, it was All Too Well, the 10-minute version, because that was when I was just starting to kind of turn a new leaf about my feelings towards her, when she released Red Taylor's version, when she released the All Too Well like short film. And I think it made me realize how deeply relatable that she writes. Like she writes for the girlies. Like she puts everything all of her emotions that so many of us have felt. And I think watching that short film, I have been in relationships like that. Like that was so relatable. And then the discourse online of people being like, oh, that was years ago, like shut up, get over it. It like pissed me off because it's like, no. Like we are allowed to say, hey, you hurt me, and I can talk about that hurt. Like, yeah, you're not gonna go out and like be vindictive, but this is my story. I was hurt. I'm going to talk about my hurt. And so that was the first time that I think I really wanted to dive deeper into the meaning and the messaging and the lore. Like there was so much lore around All Too Well that I just dove in. I remember I hadn't even heard the regular version of All Too Well, so I didn't even know what lyrics were new and which ones weren't. But I found myself watching reaction video after reaction video after reaction video of Swifties reacting to All Too Well, and I think that was one of the first things that really shifted my mind into a Swiftie mindset of like, oh, I have to know more. Because that's the difference to me between being a Taylor Swift fan and a Swiftie, is Taylor Swift fan likes the music. Taylor Swift Swiftie wants the lore. They want to dig in, you know? And that was the first time where I was like, I was seeing all of these girls just listening to All Too Well 10-minute version and just crying. And I'm like, I need to know more. I absolutely need to know more. So yeah, All Too Well 10-minute version. Ooh, I missed a polyamorous question, and this one's a very, very good one. How do you get through jealousy and or insecurity in poly relationships? Oh, Speaking of Taylor Swift, I have my Taylor Swift blanket that my brother got me. I think I see jealousy or insecurity as an opportunity. I do feel jealous. Poly people do feel jealous. Non-monogamous people do feel jealousy. But to me, I try to, like, I'm currently experiencing some jealousy with a situation that I'm in right now. And what I have come to realize is the jealousy comes from a fear of the unknown. I have never been in this certain situation that I am in right now. And so I'm feeling jealousy as like kind of, it's like a shield. I'm trying to protect myself. So what I'm doing is asking for more reassurance and communicating that to my partner. There's a million reasons why you feel jealousy, and oh god, my leg's numb! And I think if you can get to the bottom and ask yourself why, it's a great opportunity to either ask for the reassurance that you deserve, or maybe have a conversation with a partner that needs to happen, or maybe just like intentionally spend more time together with your partner so that you feel more connected, so that, you know, when you get jealous about them talking to other people or seeing other people, you have a better baseline of your relationship with them, if that makes any sense. This one's a great one. Why did you stop reading/watching true crime? This happened about 2 years ago, and I think there's a couple things. I think one, the bubble was gonna burst sometime. You can only consume so much true crime, I think, in your life. And everybody has their own levels, don't get me wrong. I mean, my mom is a lifetime woman through and through. She's gonna be watching Snapped until the day that she dies. But for me, I think it was a combination of I had been consuming it for so long, for so many years, and consuming it so much. And then two, I was going through a really, really hard time, and my mental health was shit. And it, guys, I literally can't describe it. I literally hit a point and it was like I just hit max. And then I couldn't listen to any of my true crime podcasts. The best way I can describe it is like, it started feeling like the victims that they were talking about were people that I knew. Like, which is so shitty to say out loud because somebody knew all of these victims. Like, these victims are real people. And I think the true crime can, you know, really separate that and really make it feel like you're just hearing a story, which you are in a way, but it's a story connected to a real person. And I'm not trying to shit on true crime because humans have been consuming macabre literature since the dawn of time. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong in consuming true crime because we all are so curious about it. It is one of the worst things that could happen to a person. Of course we're going to be curious about it. But I think it just kind of got a little bit too big and I just needed to take a step back away from it. I still don't really listen. I haven't listened to My Favorite Murder in years. I still listen to Last Podcast on the Left because I love those fucking boys, but I just skip their true crime episodes and I listen to episodes about cryptids and aliens and other things. In that time in my life, I couldn't even watch scary movies. Like, I just, the sensitivity in my body just shot through the roof and I literally could not handle watching scary movies, listening to true crime, anything like that. I'm just now kind of creeping back into it, but I don't know. I think because of, and this is gonna get woo-woo-woo, I think maybe becoming more attuned to the energy around me and the energy that I'm consuming, I just got too sensitive and couldn't consume that anymore, if that makes sense. I had a couple people ask me what I do for work now. I'm a server and a bartender. I joke that all I need to do is do coffee and I have received all of the infinity stones of service industry. But yeah, when I moved to Canada, I started working at breweries and got out of retail. And now I'm a server and bartender and I really, really like it. It's really fun. I mean, I like bartending more than serving, and I would like to go more that route and learn more about mixology and stuff like that, but I just love it. I love hospitality. I love talking to people. I love yummy food and sharing yummy food and yummy drinks with people. I really enjoy it. Are you gonna get another animal now that I own tuna? Yes. I really want to get Tuna a sibling. She has so much energy, and like, you know, there are days where I work double shifts and I try to come home for my lunch, but like, she just needs a friend. She really needs a friend. My apartment complex is not dog friendly, but I'll probably get another cat because I want another cat and she deserves a friend. Favorite album or movie from 2024? I think my favorite album has got to be Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. It is just, it's such a fucking good pop album. Ooh, what products have I loved, hit pan / finished and repurchased? A ton. Like, I haven't really been buying makeup. The NYX Slick Click Lip Oil in No Filter Needed, I think, the glittery one that I keep talking about, I just finished my second one. I feel like I go through it pretty quickly because it does have that like kind of thick texture where when you put it on, it kind of puts a little bit too much on. But I've gone through 2 of those. I've also gone through 2 of the NYX Fat Lip Oils. I think that one is in No Filter Needed. Or no, Chillin' Like a Villain. That's what I'm wearing right now. I've gone through multiple CoverGirl Clean Matte BB creams. I've gone through multiple Kimchi Cheek Puff Pass powders. I've gone through multiple, if we're talking about skincare, I've gone through multiple Derma E cleansers. I'll put it here, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a gentle hydrating cleanser. Oh my gosh. I've gone through multiple tubes of the CoverGirl Cleantopia mascara. Love that shit. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot that I've just found that I love and keep going through. The NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. Yeah, it's been really fun to just not overspend on makeup and just buy makeup that I know works for me. Weird. Who's my favorite YouTuber? I have a few favorite YouTubers. Lately, Allie Sheehan, a girl named Allie, for all of my Swiftie content. I realized I've watched Naomi John for years now. Like, she is one of my other silly, goofy comfort YouTubers. Same with Sophia Nygaard. I love both of them. I love Trixie Mattel's YouTube channel. I love all the Drag Race girlies YouTube channels. Her and Katya's, pretty much any, Bald and the Beautiful, anything that her and Katya do. Oh, and then a new one, Lex, aka Newly Nova, for all of my book content. I find that her and I have very, very similar takes, and the books that she likes, I like for the same reason. So yeah, I've gotten a couple recommendations from her that I have really, really enjoyed. And as far as like book content goes, she's so funny. She does great deep dives, and yeah, I just adore her. Okay, to just end on a silly one, when somebody asked what my dream makeup collab is, hear me out. I'm sick of makeup collabs. I was thinking about this because ColourPop just announced their New Moon Twilight makeup collection, and by the time we finally got a fucking Twilight makeup collection, which you would think I would be over the moon about, I was so over makeup collabs that I was just like, I don't care. I think the last time I was genuinely excited about a makeup collab was the MCR and Hip Dot collab, and I thought it was pretty well done. I enjoyed it, and that was kind of like at one of the peaks of makeup collabs, but I'm just so sick of makeup collabs. I think I would maybe, I don't know. Here's my thing. Now that I'm a Swiftie, I'm like, why, maybe I've missed it, but I would love if Taylor came out with, I think she wears Charlotte Tilbury, or I don't remember what it is, but if she came out with a red lip, I just can't, I'm not even that invested in that, but I'm just so shocked that that hasn't happened yet because it's such an iconic thing. But I also think she's too big for something like that. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about makeup collabs? Because I am just so fatigued. No shade to the person who asked this question. That's a fair and valid question. But I'm just so fatigued. I'm sick of it. I just want people to come out with fun makeup that's not pandering. I think the collabs are just feeling super pandering right now. And also, I think for any of us who have loved Twilight since, you know, we read the books. Like, I went to the midnight release of the last book, okay? Any of us who have been loving it for this long, and of course there's this resurgence, which is fine. I'm not shitting on anybody that's, you know, a part of this fun Twilight resurgence, but it's just like, where was that? Where was that years ago? We could have had that years ago. But now that it's super uber popular, now you're jumping on the bandwagon? Like, a new moon collab feels so weird right now. I don't know. That's my hot take. I guess I'll end it on a hot take. Let me know how you guys feel about makeup collabs, but I am over it. I'm so over it. Anyways, that's where I'm gonna end this video. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions on Instagram and for watching my YouTube channel. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe. YouTube is kind of mad at me for taking a 2-year-long hiatus. So if you wanna make sure that my videos show up in your feed, please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!